Seitzei, going a little further into Chodesh Elul, I wanted to begin tonight with something that we actually touched upon a few months ago. But of course, during Chodesh Elul, it's more apropos. We once mentioned in the S.S.S. S.S.S. asks a beautiful kasha, and now we say it twice a day in Tehillim, Chavsayin, the David Hashem Ervi Yishi. One of the things we say, the pasuk that everybody knows, even if you mumble the rest of the David, but these two psukim, you know, Achashalti Meis Hashem Oisav Akesh. One thing I ask, one request I have of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shivti Beveis Hashem Kol Yimei Chayai. I want to be able to sit in the house of Hashem all the days of all. I want to be able to sit in the house of Hashem all my days. So S.S.S. asks a kasha. It's a pretty obvious kasha. Shifti b'veis Hashem kol yimei chayai. It's sort of a bit of an unrealistic request. I mean, let's be honest. You have to leave. You have to go to sleep. You have to go make a parnasa. You have to go home and eat. You have things to do with your life. So what kind of request is this? Shifti b'veis Hashem kol yimei chayai. I should be in the house of Hashem all of the days and all day, every day, 24/7. 354, 365, however you look at it, every day. S.S.S. answers a beautiful, beautiful teretz. He says, we're not talking about that a person goes to the Beis Medrash when he's, maybe when he's born, they take him straight from the bris, they drop him in the Beis Medrash, they lock the door, said, I'll see you, some other time. They lock him in. He said, that's not what the pasuk is referring to. What the pasuk is saying is like this. We have an opportunity during our lives and throughout every day to make wherever we are and whatever we do into the Beis Hashem. If a person runs his business honestly, if a person does his business in the right way, then your business becomes Beis Hashem. You're doing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do in your business. If your home is a place of Kedusha, if your home is a place of Torah, then your home becomes a Beis Hashem. So what we're asking the Rebbeinu Shalom, Shifti, David HaMelech wants Shifti B'Beis Hashem Kol Yimei Chayai, that every place I go, whatever I do, should be a Beis Hashem. And that's something we're asking, and it's very apropos for us to mention during Chodesh Elul, is that every part of our lives, from when we wake up in the morning until we go to sleep at night, and wherever we go, whatever we might do, we can turn that into a Beis Hashem. And that's a madrega that every Yid can actually aspire for. That's a madrega that every Yid could try to be, because Shifti Beis Hashem, to lock yourself in the Beis Medrash, we know that's pretty much impossible. But this, to turn your life into a Beis Hashem, that's very, very much attainable for everybody. You have to do it in small steps, but that is attainable. And that's a portion of S.S.S. that we once mentioned, and I thought it was appropriate that we mention it now before Rosh Hashanah. The pasuk says a little further in the parsha, Isivne bayis chodosh, when a person builds a new house, you should build a makkah. Everybody knows what a makkah is, on your roof. That's the pasuk. So we can ask one or two questions on this pasuk. We'll see what we have time for. But the first question I want to ask on this pasuk is, why is the mitzvah of makkah said, Kisivne bayis chodosh? Why only if you build a new house? What if you get a handyman special and you find a nice place, maybe down East somewhere street, and you find a nice house that you could do renovations in, and there are dangerous places in the house, dangerous roof? Of course, you have a mitzvah of makkah over there also. Why does the Torah say Kisivne bayis chodosh? Only if you build a new house. Another kasha, it says you should make a makkah, a fence, a boundary, a fence on your roof. We know that the halacha of makkah applies also to a bar, to different things, any dangerous place you might have. Most probably also today would be a swimming pool. Any place that is dangerous in your house, you have a mitzvah to build a fence around that somebody wouldn't get hurt, that nothing happens to a person. So why does the pasuk specifically say l'gagecha, on your roof? So again, I want to mention another S.S.S. which has to do with Rosh Hashanah, has to do with Chodesh Elul, and it's a very beautiful S.S.S. also. We're all familiar with the pasuk in the Haftorah that we learn by a Tainus Tzibur. Everybody knows the pasuk, you know, with the truck also, Ya'azoi brosha darkoi. that a Rasha should leave his ways. So the Baalei Musar say that that is one of the things that we have to learn, that sometimes when a person comes to Elul or comes to Rosh Hashanah, see, sometimes you try to nitpick. Maybe you have to fine-tune this, maybe you have to fine-tune that. And the Baalei Musar tell us that one of the big things to do when it comes to Rosh Hashanah time is to look back at the year and maybe say, you know what, this didn't work out so well. So the Pasuk says, Ya'azoiv Rasha Darkoi, whatever I did till now, I'm leaving. I'm going to another, I want to try another way. I'm leaving the path that I was going on, and I'm going now to another way. I want to try something different. That's Ya'azoiv Rasha Darkoi. So that's why, he says, that's one of the things we can learn from this Pasuk. He says, Ki Sivneh Bayis Chodosh. When it comes now, Rosh Hashanah time, and we always learn this parsha before Rosh Hashanah. Ki Sivneh Bayis Chodosh, when you're born to build a whole new house, and that is taka the way to do tshuva. Ki Sivneh Bayis Chodosh. Not shot that I'm gonna, let me see, because when you start to think about it, was I really so bad? How can I fine-tune what I did? Everything, no. We made a decision now that the last year we tried, but things didn't always work out so well. He said that Bayis Chodosh. Now when it comes to build a Bayis Chodosh, what do you do? Asisa, then Makala Gagecha. You have to know, in order not to end up where you were before, you have to make a siyag. You have to build a Makkah around a Bayis Chodosh. Yes, Rosh Hashanah tells us that it's a perfect time to do tshuva and start over, and Hashem does give us the capability and give us the opportunity to start again for a new year and for Rosh Hashanah and to do tshuva. But the only thing is, Asisa, Michael Gagecha, even a Bayis Chodosh, when you want to start, you have to build a siyag. And how do you do that? See, Shalom actually mentions how you do that is with Midas Hayira. That's a Midas Hayira. You have to start. Midas Hayira means that I'm afraid to get near the boundary. You ever see someone get close to something that's dangerous? You inch toward it, you see, no, this is not the right place to go, and you go back. And that's the thing to start off with Midas Hayira. He actually brings down a very interesting thing, that the word Makkah, the word for offense, the word Makkah is the Gematria Hira. The word Makkah, Gematria Hira. So I added it up. It actually does not work out. He says that it is, but it's imakoilo. You can add. You need one. One of the rules of gematria, one of the unwritten rules or written rules, is actually that you can add one, which adds up for the word. And he says that word with that one, adding one for the word, Makkah and Yira adds up in gematria. He says, what is the asisa? The second kasha that we asked, what is it? Why do we say asisa Makkah gagecha? He says, the Gagecha means with the top midah. The top midah, we know, Reishis Chachma, Yiras Hashem. A person wants to start achieving things, Yiras Hashem. That's what Seitzei Makala Gagecha. That's why we say, on your roof, you start with the highest madrega of a midah that a person has to know, that he has to have midas a year and have boundaries, so we don't end up in exactly the same place we were last year. Just to mention the one more thing that he says on this week's parsha. Pasuk says another schus, another thing that's important for us to know for Hashanah. Later on in the parsha, Pasuk says the person is not tor, he goes b'chutz l'machna. I'm going to say this quickly. I know we don't have that much time, but Shiur Parshas brings down a beautiful word here. He says another thing to be mezaka us on Rosh Hashanah is to achieve the midas harachman and Rebbeinu Shalom. He says to become part of a tzibur. He says, if you see a person that something's wrong and you see something's wrong with him, it must be that he stepped out of the machana. He's not holding himself as part of a tzibur. And it's a big schus for a person always to keep himself as part of a tzibur. And he says something very interesting, and this is the Nesiv Shalom talking, it is not I, so I'm just telling you what he says. He says many times you see that if you see a person and you see that a person is alienated from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he's after something's wrong, that he's getting further and further away from the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says it means that min hashamayim, when they want to alienate a yid, when a person is far, what do they do min hashamayim? They put in his head to start having kindness against the Rav of the city, start having kindness against the Rabbanim. And if they want even more, start having kindness against the Manhigim, start having kindness against your Chaverim. That's the way the Rebbeinu Shalom says, it's sort of telling you, if you see a person that always has complaints about everybody around him, and the Rav, and the Chavrusa, and the people in the neighborhood, and this and that, this is a person, Rebbeinu Shalom is telling a person, I can't have you be part of the tzibur. So if you're part of the tzibur, then I have to have rachmanos on you. And that's something another thing we learned from this week's parsha. So here now, Taka today, that each week we try to add a couple of lessons to Elul. We have to remember, first of all, about the Midas Hayira. We have to remember about Sisa Makal Gagecha, that we have to build a boundary. And remember what we did in the past year, and to build a boundary around that through Midas Hayira. So this year, when we make our Kabbalahs, we're able to keep them, we're able to end up in a much better place than we were the past year. We should talk to again, we'll say each week, to Aksirva Simatoiva, and a good job.
And I'd also like to wish Mazel Tov to our share.
Thank you very much. It's hard to believe it, but thank you very much.
Mazel Tov.
Thank you.